Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking over charts and going over data from strategic ETH reserve.xyz. So, going to go over some data here from ETFs, treasury companies, and then also go over a few charts. Happy Saturday to you all. Hopefully, you've had a great week and have a great weekend planned up ahead. But yeah, let's dive into the data here. We can see a little bit of an overview up at the top, but I want to start with looking at the ETFs here. If we do scroll down, we can see that there's been massive outflows in USD over here. The total for yesterday, September 25th, was outflows of over $432 million from those ETFs. So pretty massive there, with the biggest outflows coming from ticker symbol ETHA, which is BlackRock's iShare ETF, and it's over $300 million, just about $310 million. So that is pretty massive. That does dominate the majority of the outflows, and that could, just be de-risking over the weekend. But we have seen trends of, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars coming out over the past 5 days. So, I feel like this is kind of a trend, a little bit scary, but maybe I think, it will be leading to a nice opportunity. Just got to be patient. The next one on the list is going to be ticker symbol ETH, and that is going to be the Grayscale ETF, and that saw an outflow of nearly 52 million. Next on the list is going to be the Fidelity Ethereum ETF, which is FETH, and that is an outflow of nearly 38 million. And then this ticker over here, ETH, that is the Grayscale minis, the Grayscale Ethereum mini trust ETF. And so for that one, we did see we did see, an outflows of nearly 33 million. That total puts us at 42 million. So pretty massive. And then just thinking about the ETFs and how those relate to Ethereum, looking over here at the chart, I will dive into this in a little bit more depth in Crypto Corner Sat Stacker, which I will start recording once I post this. But we can see that the current price on Saturday is trading, right around, just below $4,300, which is right around that 236. We are consolidating here. That 50-day moving average is approaching our underside. That is currently at 4,100, right around there. And what I could see happening with ETH, with these massive outflows from the ETFs, is a massive sell-off and kind of a crash that would then, be bought up. So we'd see a nasty candle coming down, but by the end of the day, whatever day that is, someday in the future, that dip would then be bought up. So we see a wick to the downside, maybe coming down to 3,800, and then we start to rally. So that is what I would look for with Ethereum, just being patient, not impatient, being patient. And then if we do look at the outflows in ETH here, we can see an outflow of over 100,000 Ethereum from those ETFs. We scroll up here, we can see that daily outflow reflected here, although that actually, is a little bit higher up here. Down here, it's just behind me, you can see right there, 100.6 thousand in outflows from ETFs, whereas up here, interestingly, it says outflows of 104,000. The ETFs do hold about 654 million Ethereum, valued at, over $28 billion, representing about 5.4% of the supply. And then if we do flip over to the treasury companies, the entities from the strategic ETH reserve, we can see that that is still from yesterday. It's the same number, 4.7 million ETH, valued at over $20 billion. 71, or as I counted yesterday, 72. Yep, this last one down here is 72, just behind Ed's head. So 72 participants. I'm not sure. Maybe that's the Ethereum Foundation. Maybe they're excluded. Not really sure. And that value of 20.24 billion, that does represent about just under 4% of the supply. We did not see any buys or sells in any of these treasury companies the past couple of days. So not the 4th, not the 5th. And the last notable ones were actually on the 2nd, with Bitmine and SharpLink Gaming. And so those holdings for those two companies remain the same, should be unchanged from prior videos, but let's look into the charts real quick just to see where they're at. I do think that we have seen a nice pullback on both of them, but maybe it's getting a little scary. And so anyways, the first one is going to be ticker symbol BMNR, that is Bitmine Immersion, currently holding 1.87 million ETH, valued at over $8 billion. If we do look at their chart, has most definitely pulled back below that 618 at around $46.25. Are effectively testing the 786 here right around 40 bucks. Hit a low on Friday the 5th at a price of 39.70. So, getting really close to that level that I have drawn there, that's sub 40. It seems to me like that's a discount. This is going to be a fake out breakdown, but maybe I am wrong and this, crashes lower. Maybe returning to the lows over here around $31, or maybe gets caught up by the tops here, ranging from around $36 down to $33. So do keep that in mind. Flipping back over here to look at SharpLink Gaming, that is ticker symbol SBET or SBET. Currently holding 837.23 thousand Ethereum, valued at $3.6 billion. And I should also note that they don't have too much cash on hand, so maybe they'd want to do a capital raise. Only got less than $72 million in cash, whereas Bitmine has over $600 million, so maybe they could deploy that to buy some ETH. But anyways, getting back to SharpLink Gaming, let's look over at that chart real quick. Has broken down below the 786 at right around 16 bucks. Here I have it marked at 1584. Hit a low on Friday the 5th of 1429. And that does seem pretty bad. We are putting in a lower low relative to over here. We have definitely broken below that 50-day moving average, right around 20 bucks currently. But if we take a step back here, we are still putting in higher lows relative to the low over here. So if we start to dip back to around 10 bucks, maybe that would get concerning. I would get a little bit concerned with that. But the lows over here, let's see, on this day, that's June 23rd, the low is 870. So really, we don't want to be going lower than that. Dips down to 1050, where the cursor is right now. That could be, the tops here, that prior resistance catching, support, and, that being a nice time to add to SBET. But anyways, those are just my thoughts on, all of this stuff here. I guess, one other one before I end it that I should mention, honorable mention, is the Ether Machine, ticker symbol ETHM. They hold nearly nearly half a million Ethereum at 495.36 thousand ETH, valued at over $2 billion. They actually have more cash on hand than SBET. It looks like their cash is above 360, nearly $369 million. So maybe they will be deploying that soon and increasing their ETH holdings during the dip that we're currently seeing, as we're seeing all of this massive selling of those ETFs. But we'll have to wait and see what happens over the weekend. But, as always, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more ETH coverage like this. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.